So pretty much this was a waste of time. And Yellowflash is going to be complaining on behalf of the Hellraiser fans, allegedly about an alleged controversy. I'm not kidding. There's an accusation of an accusation that goes nowhere. But he starts off, of course, showing his complete stupidity with Prey.
Has been doing some interesting remakes of old franchises. Prey, for example, actually turned out to be a pretty decent movie. And that was a remake of the original. I think it actually takes place in the same timeline, I'm pretty sure. So it's a prequel, but it's actually pretty good. I liked it. And it had everything going against it because of the way that the movie was being marketed. You had the
Now, as far as I know, Prey is not a remake. It is weird, I will admit, what he says in terms of it being a prequel. It's very weird. It's like a prequel sequel. And I like Prey a lot. I do think it's one of the better films. But I will say, I think overall, a lot of Predator fans had lost hope that the films were going to be any good. Maybe the novels would be good, maybe the comic would be good, but maybe give up on the films. So Prey, I think, really revitalized the franchise. So I don't think he understands really how Predator works, but before we get into that ignorance, he suddenly admits wildly that, yeah, I've just seen Hellraiser 1 and 2, and now apparently he's the king of the fandoms and is speaking for all of us because this journalist is upsetting him. Why? I don't even know.
nails. I can't remember. In the second one, it looked like they were hammering in nails. So I don't know. I'm very new to this franchise, but I want to go over what this guy's doing. So he's using all this language, modern audience. It's like this guy's trying to bait outrage. I'm not outraged about this movie. I'm not mad about it at all. It looks good. If it's good, I'm going to be very happy because I love good horror movies. But he's in here putting all this garbage in here and trying to get the director to say something. And I want you to listen to this. So he does it, I think he does it twice. Here's the big one. These days, outrage is often manufactured and feigned by people for personal gain, and we see it particularly every day in the online movie space. So were you fully prepared for bellyaching over a female pinhead, even though female Cenobites have existed since the original film? He says, we were never afraid of it. We always knew that a female pinhead made sense given the history of the franchise. And
So his big issue or beef is there's a paragraph where he talks about manufactured outrage. And his evidence is She-Hulk and Rey and Disney and Star Wars. Well, I would admit, I myself did not like She-Hulk a lot. I thought it was moronic. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was a waste of time. I thought it was really racist in certain points. And it was just kind of pointless. There were some good things. Some of the jokes worked. Some of the guest stars were interesting. And some of the cast, not the main person, not the main actress, she was horrible. But I thought some of the characters were okay. But it was pretty much very disappointing and very poor. Now, with Star Wars, of course, it's very polarizing. My own opinion is Daisy Ridley is an okay actress. I think she did a good job with the role of Rey. I would admit Rey is a not strong character. They definitely needed to do more work with the character. But I don't consider the Disney trilogy to be the worst thing in the universe. I actually like both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi a lot. I think The Last Jedi is legitimately one of the best things I've ever seen. How good it is, we can probably debate for a while. Rise of Skywalker was very disappointing. It was insanely dumb. Insanely dumb. But I would say it's mildly more intelligent than Halloween Kills, which is easily one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my recent memory. It is so jaw-droppingly stupid. I cannot believe people honestly like it. And I think that brings us to the heart of the matter. If you're a fan outraged that a character or a franchise or a story is really being sabotaged for politics or just bad, incompetent filmmaking or just the way the writers and directors are doing things, that's fine. I saw a very good video on Halloween Kills and I hated the thing. I thought maybe I'm being too harsh, but I went through that video. He found like 10 to 20 things I had missed that make it a lot worse. And he was very clear that he came in, he did like a lot of it. He really thought when it was good, it was really, really strong. But he was very honest in saying, listen, guys, honestly, I think it's just more negative than positive. There's a lot of good stuff, but the negative stuff really pulled me out. Here are my reasons. It's 20 minutes. He was very thorough. He explained himself very well. I thought it was a good video. The other side of the fandom really loves Halloween Kills. I respect that. I'm going to look at Wolfula, who put out, I think, a very interesting set of, quote, mega reviews on the Halloween trilogy. So we can agree to disagree. And I've done videos like this before where I think, for lack of a better word, Venom was too gay in the last sequel to me. I know some people were telling me in the comments, well, it's in the comics. Well, I prefer the early version of Venom in the early 90s. That's me. With the Matrix 4, basically, a lot of the similar fans were worried about Matrix 4 and Trinity replacing Neo. None of that happened. I thought it was a pretty good film, but we could differ. Clearly, a lot of people had issues with Matrix 4. I think more overall, it was more good than bad, but we can differ. But now we get to this moron, and you're like, what are we debating? It doesn't seem like you're talking about anything.
Somewhat what he's referring to here, and that's the Boom comic book run where Kirsty from the first two movies, and I think she was also in a later sequel, is actually brought to hell and she becomes a hell priest. It's actually, I haven't read it, but the idea is really cool. I watched Mr. H's video on it. I thought that was interesting. It made me want to read the comic book run. I want to watch the movies first and then read that. So I do plan on getting to that eventually. I think that that's a really cool idea. And I get what he's saying here. It's like, look, you know, we want to do something different and understand that. But you notice he's not here like talking shit on fans. All of that is coming from the writer of this article who seems pretty upset that people criticize bad shit. Like, first off, all the criticisms that he's trying to say isn't manufactured. It's often something like Rey from Star Wars, the Star Wars sequels, who's an awful character. Daisy Ridley's acting, not good in that franchise. So people criticized it. But that's supposedly a manufactured outrage. Same with Captain Marvel. He's an awful character. People criticize that. So naturally, this happens. You even have Prey, where people were hostile to the fan base before it came out, and it turned out to be a good movie. None of that was necessary. People would have people loved that movie, Prey. A lot of people liked it, including me. So, doing all that shit that's pandering to the media, it's just unnecessary. Just embrace your fandom and put out a good product, and it'll be fine. I haven't seen anybody bitching about female Pinhead.
Well, you keep saying this journalist is baiting the director, and you yourself admit that, yeah, there's good reasons for them to, quote, make a female Pinhead. And you're congratulating yourself. I'm going to give it a chance, guys. Despite the media demonizing me and my friends as being racist and bigots, I'm going to give this a chance. So what? The problem is you and your friends are racist and bigots. I've looked at those videos. They said some of the most crazy, stupid stuff in recent memory. They're just awful people and awful videos. And believe me, I gave them a chance, but some of the reasoning is really terrible. Like one of them that he names Ryan Kinel, his video on the Batman is just notoriously stupid. Maybe he's not a racist, but he definitely gave racist reasons to dislike the Batman. Now, I thought the Batman was very good, still had some issues, had some flaws, but I was genuinely impressed that they stuck to the comics pretty well. They did change a few things, and I actually agreed with half of what he was saying because I thought Jim Gordon didn't need to be black, in my opinion. I think there the race swap was a little suspicious. Catwoman is a different story. Catwoman has been many different things in the movies, in the comics, the TV show. She's been black, she's been Hispanic, she's been white, she's been a blonde, she's been a brunette. They've played with her quite a bit. So her being, quote, biracial or light-skinned black, I had no issue with. But he honestly said in the video, he took off points because there were too many, quote, good black people and not enough good white people. Now let's turn to Halloween. I saw some of the recent ads. We definitely are going to have a black man, I think, who's going to be a DJ. It seems like Michael's going to kill him, and he's playing some records. Okay, so there's a black guy who's a DJ and Halloween ends. You know what I think about this? I don't care. I care about the story. Will he ruin the story? Will he help the story? Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to have to do more analysis. But if somebody puts out a video saying, guys, I think there are just too many black people when Halloween ends, I'm going to be like, what? Guys, I think the black guy, he's going to replace Michael Myers. But what? What are you talking about? Where's this coming from? That's these kinds of videos. These videos are just beyond stupid. Like a black guy shows up or a gay guy shows up or something and they just panic and just do these weirdo videos. Now, I will admit, to be consistent, Halloween Kills had some crazy stupid stuff, including a gay couple. Now, if I do a video where I criticize, quote, the gay couple as being really stupid and dumb, it's not because I'm homophobic. It's because Halloween Kills is so legitimately so fucking stupid. Everything was dumb in it. Everything. The gay couple, the black couple, Tommy, the sheriff, Lori, Michael, nothing made sense. I legit have problems describing what Halloween Kills is. Basically, one character is recovering, one character goes nutsoid and thinks they're Donald Trump, another character just goes around killing people and is obsessed with a window. Like, this thing made no sense at all. It's just jaw-droppingly stupid. If I criticize the way that gay people are represented, I'm not criticizing gay people, I'm criticizing the stupidity of the entire film. So I actually agree with him a little bit that we shouldn't be silent. If fans are outraged, of course they should speak up. The problem is there's a lot of fake fans, and I include you among them, because I've watched Hellraiser for decades. I started off, ironically, with Hellraiser 3, and then worked backwards. And like most people, okay, the trilogy was pretty strong. I think Bloodline doesn't get enough credit. I think it's underrated. But then the sequels really trailed off, and I think we all lost hope that it would be any good at all. So I'm very hopeful with the new Hulu Hellraiser. But maybe it won't work out. Maybe it won't work out at all. But him stating that nobody complained about the quote gender swap is false. It's just false. I literally did a video on this, so he's lying. So it seems like he has some issue with this Hollywood Reporter and Daisy Ridley. Great. Talk to them. Please stop bringing in the Hellraiser fandom. You're not one of us. You barely know anything, and you admit you don't know anything. So who the fuck are you to talk about anything? Shut the fuck up. You wasted my time. I saw this entire video. You're complaining about this journalist. You didn't even bother analyzing the sentences in any real way. We're like, okay, he asked a question. You were offended. Why were you offended? Guys, I think he's talking about me and my friends. Okay, and? What does that have to do with Hellraiser? What does this have to do with the mythology? What does this have to do with Pinhead or Doug Bradley or anything? What the fuck are you talking about? You just wasted my time on nonsense, you fucking moron. Now, his friends are way more racist and stupid and bigoted, and he's slightly more moderate. Most of his content is a waste of time. It's like 95% of the time, it's a waste of time. And I have to say, this was the 95%. This was a complete waste of time. You didn't say anything. You didn't add to my knowledge of Hellraiser or the Hellraiser fandom. You just wasted my time. So congratulations. You may not be a bigot in this video, but you do work with bigots, you support bigotry, and you're making it harder for real fans to be outraged over real issues. So thanks for wasting our time, and thanks for being a complete moronic grifter. Thanks.